All right, let's get right into it. Crowdstrike just released its latest earnings, and wow, the numbers are telling us a really fascinating story. We're going to go inside their record-breaking second quarter to figure out not just what the results are, but what they tell us about the company's grand strategy and, really, the future of cybersecurity itself.
And the whole story really boils down to one word: reacceleration. The company's CEO, George Kurtz, he didn't mince words. That big surge in growth they were all expecting later this year? Well, guess what? It's here, a full quarter ahead of schedule. And that one idea really sets the stage for everything we're about to dig into.
So is this reacceleration for real, or is it just hype? Well, the proof is in the numbers. We're going to start by breaking down the key financial metrics that really back up this powerful claim.
Okay, but before we jump into the big figures, let's quickly talk about the most important metric for a company like CrowdStrike, ARR. That stands for Annual Recurring Revenue. Just think of it as the company's total subscription income for the year. It's the best way to check the pulse of the business and see where it's headed.
And here is the first monster number. CrowdStrike added $221 million in new ARR in just 3 months. That's a record for their second quarter, and it just shows they're signing up new business like crazy, completely blowing past what everyone expected.
And all that new business is being added to an already massive base. CrowdStrike's total ARR is now sitting at $4.66 billion. That's a 20% jump in just 1 year, which, at this scale, is just incredible. It shows amazing consistency.
But look, this growth isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. The company actually generated a record $284 million in free cash flow. So what does that mean? It means they're not just growing super fast, they're also incredibly profitable and financially solid.
And if we just look at the top line, total revenue for the quarter shot up 21% from last year, hitting almost $1.2 billion. So yeah, the numbers definitely back up this reacceleration story. But the real question is, why is this happening now? And that brings us to the engine behind these numbers. See, it's not about just one hot product. It's all about CrowdStrike's core strategy, building this single, all-powerful cybersecurity platform.
The game plan is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. They want to convince every customer to ditch that whole messy collection of security tools from a dozen different vendors and just consolidate everything onto their one unified platform, called Falcon.
And is it working? Oh yeah. The data is crystal clear. Almost half of all their customers are now using 6 or more different parts or modules of the Falcon platform. I mean, that's not just buying a product anymore. That's going all in on the entire ecosystem.
And one of the secret weapons here is this licensing model they call Falcon Flex. It basically makes it super easy for customers to just switch on new features. And it's on fire. Over 1,000 customers are on it. And when they renew, they call it reflexing, they end up spending almost 50% more. It's become this incredible growth machine. Okay, so beyond that platform strategy, there's another huge tailwind pushing CrowdStrike forward, the AI revolution. And it's creating both a scary new world of threats and, at the same time, this enormous new opportunity.
And I'm not talking about some sci-fi movie here. On their earnings call, management gave a real-world example. A hacking group using generative AI to create perfect fake resumes and even conduct deep fake video interviews to sneak their way into companies. The AI threat is absolutely here, and it's getting smarter every single day.
So what's CrowdStrike's move? Well, it's a two-part strategy. First, they use their own AI, they call her Charlotte, to automate security for their customers, making it faster and smarter. And second, they provide the security for AI, protecting the very systems that companies are building to run their own AI. It's a really brilliant one-two punch.
And you know what? This AI strategy is already a huge hit. Growth for their Next-Gen SIEM product, that's a core tool for any modern security center. It exploded. It's up over 95% from last year. That's the engine for the new AI-driven security world.
Which, of course, brings up a really important question. If you have this incredibly powerful engine, it needs fuel, right? A constant supply of high-quality data. So how do you get all that data into the engine quickly and efficiently?
Well, the company answered that very question this quarter with a really smart acquisition. The CEO put it perfectly with this metaphor. If our SIEM is the engine, then data is the fuel. And this company they just bought, O1M, is both the pipeline to deliver that fuel and the filter to make sure it's clean. And this is a serious upgrade. The acquisition brings some huge benefits. First, it's way faster, streaming data 5 times quicker than the competition. Second, it's cheaper. It literally cuts data storage costs in half. And third, it just works better, detecting threats as the data is flowing in real time.
So, we've got strong numbers, a platform strategy that's firing on all cylinders, and a massive AI opportunity that's just getting started. But, can they keep this pace up? Let's look at what the company is saying about the future and their journey to a truly massive goal, $10 billion in ARR.
So here's the official forecast they gave to Wall Street. You can see they're predicting continued strong growth in both revenue and profit for the next quarter and the full year. It's a clear signal that they are very confident this momentum is going to continue.
But the really juicy part is the assumption that's baked into that forecast. Management basically said they expect their new business, that Net New ARR number we started with, to grow by at least 40% year over year for the rest of the year. I mean, that is an incredibly bold statement of confidence in what's coming.
When you put all these pieces together, the reacceleration, the platform adoption, the AI strategy, and that confident forecast, it all points to one thing. They have a clear plan, and they're executing on it, marching straight towards their long-term goal of hitting $10 billion in ARR.
And that really leaves us with one final big question. CrowdStrike is betting everything on this idea that, as AI makes attacks faster and more complex, the only defense that works is a single, unified platform. As both sides of this war continue to accelerate, you have to ask, are they right?